So a few days ago I saw a tweet about how Americans had never even heard of butter tarts, let alone tried them. And I thought that that was very weird, and I read the response to the tweets, and apparently it's true. And when I retweeted the tweet, the responses that I received just verified that, which I found very surprising, because butter tarts are very much a Canadian treat, like Nanaimo bars and poutine, in my opinion anyway. But unlike those items, the fact that a lot of people had never even heard of them surprised me greatly. So I decided to make a video of me making them. And I found the perfect recipe for butter tarts thanks to a birthday gift I received last year. This cookbook called Feast. So it's recipes and stories from the author's road trip across Canada. So they're all a whole bunch of Canadian recipes. So if I'm gonna make a Canadian staple dessert, what better place to look for the recipe? So this is where I got my recipe from, as well as for the tart shells. I'm going to use the recipe in here as well. However, you can buy them and just fill them, make the filling, but I'm going to, because I'm me, I'm going to make the dough as well and use the recipe in this book for them. So I'm super, super excited. I can't wait. I've never actually made butter tarts before, but I have eaten them. So I do know what they're supposed to taste like. So yeah, I'm excited. Let's get this going. Okay, so my shells are ready to go. And as you can see, I've got the book open behind me there. So we're ready to get this filling going. So I've got my mixer all set up. And the first step is to cream the butter. You just want to get that nice and soft. Break it up nice. It's just a couple minutes, you just want it to get, the book says, until pale. Now we're going to add the brown sugar. I love creaming butter and sugar together. I don't know why, it's just one of the best things in the world about baking. Just mix that until it's well combined. There we go, so you can see how that's nice and well combined. You can almost create a dough just out of the butter and the sugar itself there. So now we keep it on low and we add our mixture of milk, egg, and vanilla. So I do have vanilla paste. I've never actually cooked with vanilla paste before, but I wanted to try it. So that's gonna be interesting, but it does say to use vanilla extract. So, but I decided to use vanilla paste because I bought it because I wanted to try it. So this should be interesting. Make sure that egg is whisked up already. That's why I have it in a bowl and a fork. So I can whisk up the egg, breaking up that yolk. Now we're going to keep it low and slow so it doesn't get splatter everywhere. There we go. So while that's mixing, we're just going to let it mix together by itself for a little bit, and then we'll add the curds. So butter tarts, usually raisins are a common ingredient, but it's very much a love-hate relationship with raisins. You don't, in my opinion, you don't need to add raisins to butter tarts. They just kind of add a little bit of texture, a little bit of, it's super, super sweet. I mean, mostly sugar in here. So it just adds that nice, brings down the sugar a little bit. Same with the currants, adds a little bit of a tart flavor to it. But you don't need them at all, so if you don't like cooked raisins or don't like cooked currants, you can just totally omit this step and just make it up until this point, and then fill it in your tart shells without either the raisins or the currants. But I wanted to stay true to the recipe, other than apparently the vanilla paste, so I am going to be putting curds into it. There we go, that's nice. It's nice and combined there, so we're just going to add the currants to it now. And just give those a quick mix in. Once you add the currants or raisins, you don't want to mix it too long, as you don't want to break it up. You just want to combine. There we go. That's nicely mixed. So now I'm going to take the tart shells that I prepared earlier and fill her up. So there is your filling. Make sure you divide it up evenly amongst all the shells. Remember, it's a lot easier to put in than it is to take out. Okay, so I don't know how well, I don't want to tip it too much, but there is, it's all filled nice and even. We're going to pop it in the oven for 8 minutes, it says, and then lower the temperature, and I think it said bake for about another 20 minutes. So we'll see how these come out. They smell good, they look good, so I think we're gonna have actual butter tarts. This is gonna work out how I had hoped it would, so. Okay, so as per the instructions, I'm turning down my oven now. Look at those babies. Oops, looks like I overfilled a couple. But that's okay. Those ones are, look at those three. Front there. Those three. The look of those. Oh boy. Super excited! So again, I'd like to apologize for my dishwasher. I thought it would be done. I started it when I started baking and I thought it would be done. I was apparently very, very wrong. So I do apologize for that noise right now. But the butter tarts have now been fully cooked and they've had a chance to cool as per the book. So I just wanted to show everybody. So this is a butter tart. Nice little tart. And I also want to just brag a little bit about that pastry. Look at how absolutely perfect it is. Like you can see it's a nice even color, nice even shape. It feels nice and flaky. So thank you, Feast. Perfect recipe. I mean, yeah, I have no complaints about the look of that pastry. I'm very excited, actually. Very, very, very excited for how perfect, there's no other word for it, how perfect that pastry looks. I mean, that looks store-bought. And I swear I made it. It was not store-bought. I made this pastry. So yeah, so thank you, Feast, for the pastry. And now we'll get a chance to try the butter tart itself. So I have my glass of milk ready here because, in my opinion, a butter tart needs a glass of milk. So here we go. Yep. So nice brown sugar caramel, not quite caramel, but sweet flavor. That's, yeah, nice flaky pastry. Maybe I might roll it a little thinner, maybe, because it is a little bit overwhelming, the amount of pastry versus the filling, but it also cuts down on the very, very sweet filling. So definitely a personal choice, I think, on that aspect of it. So you can kind of see, I'll get a little bit messy here and just kind of really break down the filling. You can see it's the harder on top and then the nice gooey center right in there. So as I said, the center is very, very sweet. The currants do add a nice kind of balance to the sweetness. I really like the currants. I'm not a fan of the raisins in butter tarts, but actually the currants are really good. Something I've never tried. I had never tried currants in it before, so yeah. I'm just gonna scoop out the filling a little bit just so you can get an even better idea of the inside there. So you can kind of see, break down the pastry completely. So yeah, you can see that nice sugar and butter layer right there. Yum. So, and there you have it. That is a butter tart, everybody. So yeah, I hope, very classic, well done feast, great recipe, and I hope you all have the courage to try this Canadian dessert classic on your own, whether it's in a bakery or whether you locate a recipe and make it yourselves. Either way, super good, super simple, and a really easy way to amaze guests at a party in the future once we're able to all gather again. And it's easy to create a lot with not much more extra effort, especially if you buy the tart shells. But even creating these, I have the recipe for these, and it was super simple. So cheers, enjoy, until next time.